We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Chicken Devil, Issue 1. This is a 2021 series from AfterShock, written by Brian Buccellato, art by Hayden Sherman, letters by Hussein Otsmane Allahu. Main cover I have is by Hayden Sherman. The editor was Mike Martz. Cover's interesting, did get me to buy the book. We start off with Mitchell. He's this kind of normal dad who's got two ingrate children that want to tell him what to do all the time and a bossy wife. Now Mitchell runs Mitchell's Hot Chicken, and that is a restaurant. It's obviously a chicken restaurant where he has a proprietary pressure cooker system that makes his food even better than most. So he's got a couple of locations, not a real huge player, but one of his friends and business associates named Antonio may have made a little mistake. Now Mitchell was trying to fix one of the fryers, but had left it for the night and wasn't done with it. Because it's proprietary, he built it from the ground up. He knows how it works better than anyone, but Antonio decided to try and start it up anyway. And it ended up with a bit of a fire. Now, the fire also damaged quite a lot of stuff in the facility, including something illicit that Antonio was supposed to be trafficking in. And that leads to the Russian mob getting involved and threatening them. Now, Mitchell tries to get his family to safety, and that goes horribly wrong. And now, with nothing left to lose, Mitchell has to make some choices. Does he help Antonio and try and flee, or does he fight back? And when he sees a guy with a gun coming after him, things go in a particularly nasty direction. And it looks like Mitchell is going to have to really make some tough choices and maybe fight back against the Russian mob. Okay, so this book is crazy. It was a blast to read. It was a shockingly well thought out read. The art style is definitely not going to appeal to everyone though. It's very sketchy and abstract in a lot of places. It's a very unique indie style that I don't particularly love. I could tolerate it. Sometimes it's fine. Sometimes it's a little too sketchy for me. But the story really did salvage any quibbles I had with the art style. Now, a lot of people do seem to like this art style, but it's just not for me. I think it's a little too inconsistent and people tend to look weird, but that's just me. I know a lot of people that really like this type of art, and it does kind of work for the crime aspects of this book. The emotion and personalities are definitely portrayed through the faces, and that does work really well, and the perspective shots are really well done. So I will give the artist credit for that. It's just not a style I love. So I will recommend this because the story was shockingly good. I thought it was going to be stupid, and I kind of bought it on a whim, but hey, it turned out to be a shocking amount of fun. So I will recommend this. If you like crime dramas or shows like Breaking Bad, you're probably going to dig this. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are below for my Teespring store, the Patreon, and the Streamlabs, which accepts PayPal, or just share the video on your social media. That helps tremendously. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Chicken Devil, Issue 2. This is a 2021 series from AfterShock, written by Brian Buccellato, art by Hayden Sherman, letters by Hussein Otsmane Allahu. I have the main cover by Hayden Sherman, edited by Mike Martz. Cover's okay, it doesn't sell you on this book at all though, it's just kind of artsy panel. After the tragic events of last issue, our hero has to get rid of a corpse, and we get a flashback to 11 years ago when his mom tells him that his baby looks like an alien, and it looks like his mom's new husband is hitting on his wife. So Mitch has a lot of baggage, but he also has other problems because the cops are at his house and he's got a corpse in his van, so he has to get rid of them and distract them while the Friends theme song plays, which I don't think they got licensing rights to use the lyrics to that. So he has to deal with all that, and it looks like the mobsters that his partner Antonio ripped off are coming to find them, and that's creating an even bigger problem. And he finally meets up with Antonio, and they kind of have it out, but then things go horribly wrong, and we're left with a cliffhanger ending. And it looks like Mitch is in some serious trouble. But I have to say, this was a really good issue. It was a lot of fun. The art style is definitely not going to be for everyone. I'm not a big fan, but it does work for what they're trying to get across. I think this would make a really good movie. It would be kind of a silly slapstick action movie, but it'd be a fun one. So I think this has a lot of potential if they don't screw up the ending or drag it out too long. But so far, it's working out really well. I think think it's got a lot of action. It's a bit gory, but that's okay. It does work for the story, and it does have kind of a ludicrous premise. But we'll see how it plays out with next issue, and until then, I'm going to recommend this. I thought it was a surprisingly good time. The art's not the greatest, but it's not bad. It just doesn't really fit the style of the story, and it's not really my thing. So if you could track it down, I would say pick it up. I didn't feel cheated for my money. It's a $5 cover price, but the paper quality is real good, and overall the story is pretty fun. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, there are links in the description for my merch store and other ways you can support me. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one. Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Chicken Devil, issue 3. This is a 2021 series from AfterShock, written by Brian Buccellato, art by Hayden Sherman, letters by Hassan Otsmane-Allahu. I have the main cover by Hayden Sherman, edited by Mike Martz. Again, the cover looks like a panel out of the book. It's fine. It just doesn't sell you on it. It doesn't tell you anything about how much action and adventure actually is within the story. So with Luca's gangsters closing in on Mitch gets captured pretty quickly, and the cliffhanger from last episode really isn't helping him at all. But he does know where Gregor is, so one of the thugs decides to take him for a little ride. So he's got the heroin and Mitch in the car, and he's basically insulting Mitch, and Mitch has lost everything at this point. His friend Antonio's gone, Gregor is, well, indisposed, and now he's looking at facing certain death. So he does what he needs to do, and that's when he finds out that Luca is planning an event, and he gets a heads up on how to do that, because now he's got a couple of bad guy phones. So he's able to establish a location where his enemies are going to be, the people that slaughtered his family and his best friend. And he tries to talk to his mom, but she's in jail. He has to be very careful about what he says. And effectively, he decides to go very Frank Castle on these guys in the chicken suit. Well, partly the chicken suit. And it's a pretty awesome sequence. But the main bad guy, Luca, isn't quite out of the picture, and he's gonna have to face down that guy, and there's a massive twist ending that I did not see coming. So pretty impressive story. I am looking forward to how this is gonna wrap up in issue 4, but I have to say this series was a ride. It's really fun, and I'm actually really looking forward to that 4th issue. So it was worth the $5 to me. I'm not a huge fan of the art style, but it works fine. It just isn't really the appropriate art style for this kind of story, I don't think, but it works. So I didn't have a problem with that. The covers really are disappointingly simplistic and don't tell you anything about the story. It is very explicit story too, not only just in language but also in the violence and gore level. So if you're looking for an action movie in comic form, this is your book, and it's pretty fun. So we'll have to see how it wraps up and make sure it's going to be a good conclusion, but until then, this is a solid recommendation. That'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links to the merchandise store and other ways to support me are in the description. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one. Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Chicken Devil, issue 4. This is a 4-issue miniseries from AfterShock from 2021, written by Brian Buccellato, art by Hayden Sherman, letters by Hassan Otsmane-Allahu, cover by Hayden Sherman, edited by Mike Martz. Cover's boring. This does not sell me the book. It's really, really boring. Yeah, the paper quality is really, really nice, but at $5, the cover has to really jump out at me. And the cover's been doing a pretty weak job at that. So we start off with the aftermath of what Mitch did, and we learn a shocking secret that was revealed at the last issue and how that came to pass. And while that's good news for Mitch, he's back to the same old mediocrity that he had before, and it just kind of betrays the fact that his life kind of stinks and everybody around him seems to be an idiot, and he's not very bright either. So he's got a lot of people that just sort of take advantage of him, and although he stays up all night or tries to make sure that the mob doesn't get to him and the people he cares about, Luca is on the move. He's getting new hitters in, so Russian bad guys are on the way, and Mitch has to do something about that. So he gears up for a final confrontation and pretty well botches things like you would expect, but he's really enjoying his newfound hobby, I guess, and we get a bit of a twist with some unexpected allies. Overall, I thought the ending was a little rushed. About the second half of the book seemed like it wasn't thought out as well, and it was meant to have a longer conclusion that just wasn't there. Instead, they set it up for a sequel book, which I did like this enough that I'm probably going to pick that up. But again, the art style, definitely not my favorite. I do like the Chicken Devil costume, and the action scenes were pretty well done. The perspective shots are done. It's just a personal preference on the art style. A lot of people probably aren't going to like it. It looks very nuanced, but for what it is, the artist does have a lot of talent. So I will recommend this because I thought the story was a lot of fun. This issue just seemed a little bit rushed, especially the last 7 or 8 pages didn't seem as well thought out, or they changed the ending. I'm not sure which, but that's the impression I get. I do like that it is set up for a sequel miniseries because I did like this one, but I don't know how well that's going to do. Still, I would be willing to check that out, and I would probably pick this up in trade paperback. I think it would be better as a trade than as single issues, but you would lose the impact of the reveal at the end of issue 3. So kind of a mixed bag either way, but the paper quality is great. I wish Marvel and DC would take note of the paper quality here, because I enjoyed this quite a bit overall as a story. Again, the art, not my style at all. I'm not a fan, but I can see why people would like it. Perspective shots are well done, even if the proportions are often exaggerated or a bit silly. Like I said, I will recommend this. I thought it was a lot of fun, and it was an interesting idea that's got a lot of potential. So we'll see where the next miniseries goes, if and when it ever comes out. But in the meantime, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods, and as always, we hope to see you on the next one.